One other thing though has changed, and I wanted to get into a little bit of that we talked a little bit about is the streaming. You know, we saw the vinyls. Vinyls made a comeback the last 10 years or so. I've got the collection. I know you listen to a lot of records as well, which is amazing. Love that. But everything else, aside from records, there's nothing in between. It's records and streaming. That's the way it's consumed these days. We're just audio. I heard you talking on another podcast. I know you don't do a lot of them, so I went back and found the one that you did.
Wow.
Off the Tracks, I believe it wasn't too long ago.
Okay, yeah.
And you guys got into it a little bit. I wanted to take it a little step further though with the way Spotify and all these other people are paying you guys out before it even gets to the artist, because we all know how that chain of command goes.
Right.
So before it's getting to you, you talked a little bit about it. You were discussing how there are actual different tiers, or what you'll be able to explain it better than I did just now. But like, there's different ways of that the labels are pushing their artist in on platforms like Spotify, and sometimes you get it through discovery mode. You get things at a discount, and that's why you're seeing it pop up on your algorithms. Maybe talk to me a little bit about that part that has changed, or is it seem to you very much like MTV and radio back in the day?
There's some a little bit like that. I mean, the main difference is you only have 4 companies that are really controlling all of retail. So that's Spotify, Amazon, Apple, and YouTube. It's too much consolidation, and what happens with too much consolidation is then there's too much control, and then that too much control manifests itself into doing things that aren't good for music, like how do you pay less for music? So it's a constant battle of how do we get more value out of what artists are doing, and the DSPs, those are the digital service providers, they're constantly figuring out how do we pay less. And so the first thing they did that hurt us was put a cap on how much fans are willing to spend by saying, you get everything for $9.99 or $10.99. Now you've got a fan who wants to invest more in an artist, but they can't. They're stuck at a ceiling of how much they could spend.
Yeah.
That was the first thing that really hurt the value of music. That never happened with like CDs or vinyl, because people could just buy another one, and it was really how much money they had, not how much money the retailer was willing to let them spend. That'd like be going into a record store and say, you can only buy one record even if you want to.
Yeah, even if you got $20, you can only buy that $10 record.
Right.
Right.
Exactly. So that's the first thing they did that was not good for the value of music. Then they said the way everyone's going to get paid is we'll take, the pool of money that comes in a month, and then we're going to take our money off the top, and then we're going to give the rest to you based on what tracks were streamed during that month. And the reason that became bad for the value of music is then it just pinned everybody against each other. So the better one artist does, the worse another artist does, right? It's a It's a pro-rata system. So when Taylor Swift comes out, everyone else is suffering because that pool of money is now going more towards her than everybody else.
Right. It's not based on you're not getting it straight back to that artist with the lesser streams or whatever, right?
Exactly. So that was the second thing. And then the third thing was they started to control what people listen to by saying, okay, we'd rather, if it was just an open forum of like, oh yeah, I like this artist, so I'm going to get this, and oh yeah, other people who listen to this also like this, so I'm going to get that. Now it became, people are starting to listen to playlists, people are starting to listen to this sort of radio that we've created, and so we're deciding what people are listening to. They're not deciding for themselves. That's the algorithm. And since streaming started, the amount of streams per month that come from algorithm versus someone picking what they want to listen to has been increasing. In the early days, it was like 10, 20%, and now it's like 45, 50%.
Yeah.
So with the DSP in control of what people are listening to, now they can lower their costs by putting stuff in that algorithm that they get cheaper, either by making a deal direct with a distributor who's willing to make it a cheaper deal, or like you were saying, discovery mode, where you say, okay, we'll push you up in the algorithm, but we're only going to do that if you accept a discount on your royalties.
Yeah, which accepting that discount, it just means that money's still coming. You're taking the discount, which means they'll do it if you grease the wheel a little bit. It's literally what it sounds like. It's
pay for play.
Yeah, it's pay for play, but like it's
in a digital sense, yeah.
But it's not even like, oh, we can do that, and it costs more money for us to do that, so that's why we're going to do it at a discount. Right. It's like, no, you're going to take the discount. We're going to give you less on the royalties so that other people can hear it, and we're going to take more of your royalties.
Yeah. And the worst part is it's actually coming from another artist. That's where the money is coming from.
Right. Because
you're getting pushed in front of somebody else who would have gotten a full-priced play. Now they're not getting listened to at all. Instead of, and in replacement of that is going to be a discounted play.
Wow.
And all the time, the fan has no idea what's going on. There's no.
Well, that's why the fan, and these days more than ever with social media, they have their opinions, and of course, every human being on this planet is entitled to their opinions. It goes without saying. And then they put them out there, and everyone starts riling each other up on the internet about the artist who's being greedy. And it's like, if you really knew the inner workings, I don't think you would ever say that about any artist. But there's no way for us to be greedy in this industry.
Right. Totally.